Good morning, children. Come to the next chapter, The Adventures of Toto. This is a story about a monkey whose name is Toto. Who bought it? How did he keep it as at its home? And the monkey was so mischief that lastly he had to get rid of that monkey. So that is a story about that particular animal, right? Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for a sum of 5 rupees. So how much money did he buy him? He bought it for 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. So this Tonga driver was having that monkey with him. Somehow grandfather felt that this is not the place for the monkey to be. He was very out of place there. So this grandfather thinks that I should take him to the little zoo which he has. Okay, so he takes that monkey. Now this is a story by a famous writer, Ruskin Bond, who is an Indian writer. Okay, and he usually writes stories treating him as the he writes stories on himself or his mother. If you maybe you have studied a poem, I remember one of his poems, Ruskin Bond's Grandmother Lives on a Tree. That was also very humorous and a funny poem. Okay, so this chapter is also like that. Now he is talking about his grandfather who bought this monkey. Toto was a pretty monkey. His eyes, bright eyes, sparkled with mischief beneath deep-set eyebrows, and his teeth were a pearly white, and they were often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. So he used to give such a smile that used to frighten the Anglo-Indian ladies. Particularly, that means they were living in that particular place. So he is talking about the Anglo-Indian ladies, that they were frightened of this monkey. But his hand looks dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Have you ever observed the palms of monkey? They are very dry. So he is giving an example that those have been baked in the sun. It looked like that. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked. His tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good look. So he was having a very rough palms. His fingers were very sharp, and then he was the tail added to his beauty. Also served as a third hand. He would used to catch things with that, climb on the branches. So his tail was his third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hands. So anything which he could not take it with the hands or get it with the hands, he scooped it up with that means he took up with the tail. Grandmother always first when grandfather brought home some new bird or animals. Now this grandmother did not like the pets to be kept at home. So whenever he brings any pet at home, grandmother doesn't like it. So it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept secret from until she was in a particularly good mood. Now this usually happens, when you also need something from your parents. You see that particularly from your mother, because mothers are always strict than fathers, isn't it? So when you want something from your parents, you see that their mood should be good. Because when you ask them something, if she is very angry, obviously she will say no. So grandfather is also looking out for such an opportunity where grandmother will be in a very good mood, and then he will say that he had bought a monkey. Now till then that monkey has to be kept as a secret. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom, where he was tied secretly, or so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. To a nail fastened into the wall, they tied a rope or they kept him very securely, tied securely to one nail, tied it in the which was there on the wall, and it was kept in a closet. Closet means it's in a shelf-like thing. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, that means from that particular place, because he was tied, they want to remove him from there. We found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. Now those walls were not whitewashed. Instead, on that, beautiful ornamental papers were pasted in the room. So when they entered into the room, now what they could see, all those ornamental papers that monkey has taken out, and only the wall was with the brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds, was in pieces. And that nail which was there in the socket, it has come out. That means the thing from which they have tied that monkey, he has taken out that. His blazer he has torn into pieces. I wondered what grandmother would say. Now this boy, this Ruskin Bond, is worried about what mother would say, grandmother. But grandfather did not worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. So he so loved the animals that he was, the mischief done by them also, he was not angry with it. He's clever, said grandfather. Now see, given time, I'm sure he would have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. Now see, father is not taking it as something as negative or something which he will think that he should not do it. Okay, rather he is telling that he is such a clever monkey that if time was given to him, that means if we had not come into this room by now, what he would have done, the blazer which he has torn into pieces, he would have made a rope out of it and he would use it to go out through the window. His presence in the house was still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters, where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. Sociably together means they were all good friends, and grandfather was having many animals, and which were kept in the servants' house. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet dog. So Ruskin Bond's pet animal was pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. So this monkey was so mischievous that at night also he would not allow the other animals to sleep. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. Now grandfather had to go to the other place to get his pension. He is a retired man and he used to get pension. So he has to go to Saharanpur. So there was no choice at all with him. So he had taken, because that was a very mischievous monkey. So he took the monkey with him. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. What did he tell you? See, a big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. That means his new home. A big black canvas bag, and with it some straw was kept inside in the bottom, and there was a place for this Toto to sit. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. That means when we close the bag, there is no way that the animal can escape. Toto could not get his hand through the opening, but the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. So he could not take out his hands, and it was such a strong canvas that he could not even bite it. His efforts to get out only had the effort of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attached a curious crowd of onlookers on Dehradun railway station. So there was no chance for him of coming out. So occasionally what he used to do, inside the bag itself he used to roll, and sometimes he used to jump. So people could see the bag rolling and the bag jumping on the railway station. Which railway station? Dehradun. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, But while grandfather was producing his ticket on the at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. So now you see, can you see in that picture the grandfather is holding that bag, and somehow he was able to manage to tear that bag, and when he was showing his ticket to the ticket collector on the Saharanpur station, what did he do? He peeped out of the bag, and then he gave that ticket collector, he gave a smile. The poor man was taken aback, but with a great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You have to pay for it accordingly." So now this ticket collector get annoyed. How could he travel with a pet with him? So he said that you are having a dog. You cannot travel without ticket. You have to pay for him. In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag, and in vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog, or even as he quadruped. Toto was classified as a dog by the ticket collector, and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. So why did simply Toto had come out? Simply did he prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog. He showed that it was a monkey and not a dog. But Toto was taken as a dog by the ticket collector. He said no, it is a dog, and he collected rupees 3 from him. Then the grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "And what must I pay for this since you charge for all the animals?" Now grandfather has also taken a tortoise with him. So when he has taken the money from his grandfather, saying that it is a dog, now grandfather took out the tortoise and he is asking him, "What will you charge for this this animal?" The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his forefinger, that means touched with the forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and a triumphant look and said, "No charge, it's not a dog." So he is only going to charge for the dogs and not any other animals. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable where he had a companion of the family donkey, Nana. Now there was a donkey also in their house. Now he saw a good mood when the grandmother was in a good mood. He convinced grandmother, and now Toto has been given a comfortable place in the house. He stays in the stable with his companion. Who is his companion? A small donkey whose name is Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without an apparent cause pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from the bundle of hay. So the rope with which the halter with which he is tied, he is moving his neck away from that, and he is trying to be away from what? From a bundle of hay which was kept there. Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches, and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened on to her to her long ears with his sharp little teeth. So this monkey has caught the donkey with to its ears, and when the donkey moved, this Toto also moved with her. Toto and Nana never became friends. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evening was a large bowl of warm water given by grandmother for his bath. So it was a treat for Toto. It was a enjoyment for Toto to bath in the warm water when it was very cold. He could cunningly test the temperature with his hand. So he could, sometimes you also, when you take bath in the winters, you see whether the temperature of the water is appropriate for you to take bath or not. So this monkey is also doing the same thing. He dips his hand in the water and he sees whether the temperature is appropriate. Then gradually stepped into the bath, first one foot, then the other, until he was, as he had seen me doing, until he was into the water up to his neck. So first he will put his finger, then he will put one leg, then the other, then the whole body, and he will sit in the water till the water is till his neck. Once comfortably, he took the soap in his hands or feet or rubbed himself all over, because he is seeing the other people taking bath. So he also took the soap in his feet or in his arm and he is rubbing on his body. When the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. So in the winter season, when he is bathing with the cold water, he will feel cold. So when the water becomes cold, then he will run into the kitchen fire to dry himself. If anyone laughed at him during his this performance, Toto's feelings would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. One day Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. So when he is doing such kind of activity and somebody in the house laughs at him for doing that, so he will, next time he will say, he will give an expression, or he will say that he will not take bath. And once what happened, he just was completely getting boiled in the water. How you see, a large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Now in a large kettle, water is boiling for tea. Now what did he do? He has no work at home, so something he has to do. So he took out the lid of the kettle. Finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in. So he got inside the kettle, and in that the water is boiling, with his head sticking out from the open kettle. So he went inside and his head is out of the kettle. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. So children, when you take bath with hot water, so you feel more cold, isn't it? So what he did, he went inside the kettle, he sat there, but when the water started boiling, he would raise his neck. When he would raise his neck, he used to feel cold outside. Then he used to go inside. But inside the water is continuously boiling, so the temperature will increase. He continued hopping and up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and howled him, and half boiled took out of the kettle. So she shouted at him, and then she took him out of the kettle. If there is a part of brain especially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. That means the sentence tells that he was very mischief. Any part of the brain that was very highly developed was the part which allowed him to do a lot of mischief. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts near him had he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. So he used to trouble her aunt a lot. Whenever he used to see her, he will cling to her clothes and he will tear it. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with the rice. So on the dining table he is sitting, there is a bowl of pulao and he is eating that rice. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. So when grandmother shouted at him, what did he do? He was on the dining table, he threw one plate at the grandmother. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. So now, because from the dish of pulao he is going on stuffing rice into his mouth, so grandmother also went, one of the aunts also went near him. So what did he do? He put water on her face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through the window. So when grandfather came in, then he took that dish of pulao and he went to the window. He found himself, we found himself in the branches of a jackfruit tree, the dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined of finishing every grain. So the whole afternoon, where did he sit? He sat on the jackfruit tree, and the whole grain of rice he has finished. And then, in order to spite grandfather, who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. So grandfather scolded him. So what did he do? To teach him a lesson, that, or he was angry at grandfather, that why did he scold him? After eating, he threw the rice dish, and he was so happy when the dried dish broke into 100 pieces. Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we would keep for long. Why? Because he was destroying all the things. And will you afford to keep such an animal for such a long period of time, where he is going on destroying, destructing the things each day? Even grandfather realized that we are not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains and wallpapers. So grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. He bought it for 5 rupees. He sold Toto for 3 rupees because they were not able to afford him, because he was such a mischievous animal. He was going on destroying their things. And how long will they go on purchasing the things only to keep this pet? So he sold it again back to the Tonga driver just for 3 rupees. It was a loss for him, but still he has to weigh the benefits against the losses. Okay. So this is about the chapter. Any doubts? You can ask me.